Hello everyone and welcome to Bhanzu classes. So I hope all of you are doing great, right? Do you remember what we were doing in the previous session? We started with a new concept called decimals, right? We completed addition and subtraction of decimals. So today we are going to talk about multiplication of decimal numbers. But before that, I hope all of you are ready with your notebook and a pen, right? So now let's move ahead and quickly recall what all we covered in the previous session. We started with what are decimals, comparing decimals, addition of decimals and subtraction of decimals, right? So we covered all these topics in our previous session. Today what are we going to cover? Let's have a look at it. So we are going to cover multiplication of decimal numbers, in which we will talk about two subtopics, okay? The first one being multiplication of decimal numbers and multiplication of decimal numbers by 10, 100 and 1000. Okay? I hope everybody is clear with what is multiplication, right? So we are going to use the concept of multiplication of whole numbers only in doing multiplication of decimal numbers, right? So let's move ahead and see the first topic for the day, that is how do we multiply decimal numbers. First of all, we convert them as whole numbers, then we count the digits to the right of the decimal, add the number of digits counted and put the decimal back in the product by counting from its rightmost. Okay, so let's see an example over here. Suppose if you have a question as 2.3 into 2, right? So here we have a decimal. So what the first step says, multiply decimal numbers as whole numbers. So what are we going to do? We are going to remove the decimal for time being. So the answer becomes question becomes 23 into 2, right? Now what's the answer to it? The answer to it is 46. Now they are saying that count the number of digits in the right part. So only one number has a decimal point, that is one digit is there. So what we will do, we have counted. Now add the number of digits counted. There is no decimal, it's just one. So one digit of in the decimal part. Now put the decimal in the product. So this was our product 46. Now put the decimal in the product by counting from its rightmost. So from its rightmost, if we shift, so we get the answer as 4.6. So 2.3 into 2 is nothing, it's 4.6. I hope everybody got it, right? Let's do two more questions over here, one by one. What would be 5.2 into 4? So what did we discuss? We discussed that remove the point, right? So it would be 52 into 4, which is 208. Right? Now count the number of digits in the decimal part. It was just one digit. So put the decimal back after one digit from rightmost side. So you get the answer as 20.8. Right? Got it? Let's see one more practice question. So what are we seeing? We are seeing the decimal points also. So over here now it's an interesting question where we have two numbers with the decimal digits, right? So first we do normal multiplication of 105 into 21, which gives us the product as 2205, right? But then we have to count the decimal digits. So in the first one we have two decimal digits, in the second one we have one, so in total 3. So what to do? Shift the decimal towards left side 3 times. So what do we get? 2.205. So this is how we multiply decimal numbers by a whole number or by a decimal number. So the most important thing is we actually multiply them first by as whole numbers only. Then we count the number of decimal digits and put it back. Right? Now I am going to give you two questions for you to practice. So you have 1 minute for it. What would be the answer of these two questions? Try it out. I hope everybody was able to do it. So let's check it out. What can be the answers to them, starting with the first one. So first one, actually it's 3 into 2, right? What do we get? We get 6. But there are 2 digits in the decimal part if I see both the numbers. So my decimal should be after 2 digits, right? But there is just 1 digit, so we add a 0 over here. So here's the decimal, so the answer to it is 0.06. So whenever we lack of the number of digits to be there, for putting the decimal from rightmost side, we add zeros. Where? To the left side. Okay. Let's see another one. What would be 27 into 4? So what are we doing? We are forgetting the decimal for time being. Okay. So here we get 108, right? 27 into 4 will be 108, but this time we have only one number with a decimal digit. So it's just 1 digit. So we are going to put it over here. So the answer to it is 10.8. I hope everybody is clear now where to put the decimal back, right? The first step is already same, multiply them as whole numbers, which you have learned. Now let's move to an interesting concept with the help of a word problem. The side of an equilateral triangle is 3.5 centimeter, right? I hope everybody is clear what is an equilateral triangle, which has all sides same, right? So this is also 3.5 centimeter. This is 3.5 centimeter and this is 3.5 centimeter. What are they asking us to do? They are asking us to find the perimeter, right? So let's write what is perimeter of a triangle, of an equilateral triangle. It's 3 into side, right? So what can we do? We can apply multiplication of whole number by decimal number over here, right? It's 3 into each side, right? Which would be length of each side actually. So here we get, let's do the calculation. It would be 3 into 3.5, right? So it is 105. We have forgot the decimal, but now put the decimal back after counting the number of decimal digits. So your perimeter for this particular equilateral triangle is 10.5 centimeter, right? So we have applied the same concept what we learned. Now let's move ahead and see a concept where we are going to multiply decimal numbers by 10. So what happens in that case, if you have to multiply a decimal number by 10, just shift the decimal point in the product by one place to the right. That's it. And you are done with the answer. Let's have a look at it. I hope everybody is getting it, right? So 5.36 into 10 would actually give me 53.6. How do we come to know that? Just shifting the decimal towards right once. Why? Because we are multiplying it by 10 and 10 has just 1 0. Okay? Let's try out for 100. Now in 100, how many digits do we have? 2. So what we will do? We will shift the decimal 2 times this time. Which side? Towards right only. So let's have a look at one of the examples. Question remains same but 2 zeros. So it would be 536.0. We have taken a jump of 2 digits this time towards right because we are multiplying by 100 and 100 has 2 zeros. Coming to the next part where we have multiplication by 100. So this time can you try now? How many jumps should we take? 3 jumps, ma'am, because there are 3 zeros in 1000. For 10 we took 1 jump towards right. For 100 we took 2 jumps towards right. For 1000 obviously it would be 3 jumps towards right. Yes? So 5.360 into 1000 is 5360.0. We have taken a jump of 3 digits towards right hand side. Right? Now let's move ahead and do some practice questions. So here we have interesting questions. So multiplication by 100. How many zeros? Just 1 zero, ma'am. So shift the decimal towards right once. So it would be 3.0. That's it. Now 2 zeros. Shift the decimal twice. So it would be 120. So whenever we don't have digits, again we put the decimal. But this time we put it towards right. And the last one where we have 3 zeros, but we have only one digit after the decimal. So can you try? How many zeros should we put? Yes, got it right. 2 more zeros are required because one jump would be for 3, but 2 more digits are not there, so 2 zeros. We do not write any other number except 0. Right? Clear? Crystal clear? Enjoyed the topic? Right? Let's move ahead and summarize what all we had learned today in this session. Right? We talked about multiplication of decimal numbers, and then we had also learned how do we multiply decimal numbers by 10, 100 and 1000. Wasn't that easy? Yeah, just shifting your decimal number towards right, the decimal point, how many ever zeros we had with 1. If 10, once. Hundreds 2 times, thousands 3 times. Suppose if I give you a question to be multiplied by 10,000, you are going to shift your decimal towards right 4 times. Right? So keep practicing till we meet next and keep exploring. Spark your curiosity. Bye-bye.